Hey everyone, it's VT Matty. The VOD that you're watching here is edited from the stream over at twitch.tv/Voltaic AIM. That's right, VOD review streams are back, once every month, over at the official Voltaic Twitch channel. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, which is edited down to show you the most informative and detailed VOD reviews from the latest stream. Thank you for watching.
I think you also need a little bit more tension release. So let me draw this again. The bot is going to come out to the right. It's going to turn around like that. So when I describe this halt motion, this portion of the bot's movement, whenever it's doing that, whenever it's changing direction, it's very linear when it does that on this scenario. It's very readable. That's what I'm saying. It's predictable. When it slows down, when you notice this gradual decel, what I see you doing here is, in this portion, you forcibly stop your motion. Like you try to like actively force your mouse in the opposite direction. And I saw, I wish I had a hand cam. So basically, let me draw a freaking mouse. This is a mouse. So as you're following the bot, it's likely that you're pressing your thumb and your wrist is pivoting in the ulnar direction. So you're basically initiating a pivot towards this way. So this is ulnar direction. This is to the right. This is away from your torso. You have hand cam, bro? No, I'm talking about the VOD. So this is to the right, and I know that on my hand cam that is showing to the left. Basically, what I think was happening with you is, to stop this motion and to prepare for the strafe change, you're countering this force by tensing up your pinky finger and your ring finger, and you're putting opposite tension in the radial direction. So that's what I'm drawing with this arrow in the radial direction. So that's towards your torso, right? The problem with that and why it doesn't look natural is because when it comes to the scenario design, this bot is not it's not being pushed in the opposite direction technically. So when you react to this gradual decel, you don't want to push in the opposite direction. You just want to let go of your tension and just let your mouse glide to almost a stop. And then when it accelerates again outside of this point, then you can kind of just switch this direction, right? Aw, shoot. Okay. I thought I just got rid of it all. You could try to switch this direction. So you were going ulnar. And then when it goes left, you just switch. You go radial. And that way, you can use overall less net. Wow, I just butchered that. Net tension usage. You calmly sync yourself with the direction change by letting go of the tension, and then you just swap the direction of where your tension is facing, of where that force is on your mouse, to correct to the acceleration. And that way, you're not using more tension to stop yourself. You're just letting go of it and then forcing it into a new direction. How to practice gradual decel. So how do you practice letting go of your tension? I would try playing, let's see. Dare I say Smooth Sphere is good for this? In some ways, Smooth Sphere is good for this. You should also play Wisphere Raw Control, because you want like a large bot. that's gonna move in these ways. You want a large bot that gives you a lot of room for error so that you can see what's happening. I let go of too much tension and lose control. I tend to slip off the target. Well, to that extent, you want to make sure that you're letting go of tension in sync with the acceleration, right? If you envision a graph, right, and this is the target's acceleration, or this is representing the target's decel. If you let go of too much tension, right, your line will like drop out here, and at this point, you'll probably like cross over the bot, or you'll probably fall behind the bot. So really, all that is just, you know, read the speed at which the bot is changing direction, and don't release so much release tension at the same rate as the bot. And the reason why I'm telling you to play a larger bot scenario, and keep in mind this is 2D. This is 2D, so you'll be able to see it on like same axis. The reason I'm trying to tell you to play it on a larger bot scenario is because you'll be able to see that speed change, right? There's not going to be the depth perception deception on that scenario. This has depth to it, so when you see a slowdown like this, the bot could be, remember, let me draw out how this is. Z-axis, x-axis. So you could be perceiving motion here. Let's say this is slowing down, right? But if this is slowing down and moving away from you, so this black arrow is also going away from the screen at first, or it's going into the screen, away from you. The z-axis, away from you. What that means is that it's going to be hard for you to tell how much of the slowdown is, you know, the bot changing its direction on the x-axis, and how much of the slowdown is just what you perceive when the bot is moving away from you. So, you get better practice on a 2D map, and on things like Clover Raw Control, for that aspect of Control Sphere. That's a very, that was a really informative VOD. I might upload that one to YouTube, because I feel like a lot of people try to counteract tension. A lot of people try to counteract tension with more tension, but they don't. That defeats the point, I think. Ooh. Do I do this on the Voltaic stream? Ooh. I can't even hear the hit sounds, but I think I do this. Do I do this on the Voltaic stream chat? You guys know what I'm talking about? He gets like 118 with 127 hits. Alright, so it's gonna be somewhere around 1280, or 1300. I think I'd do it. I gotta do it on the Voltaic stream. 130. Let's see. He says start off fast. There was like 5 moments right there where he like very perfectly matched it. Alright, so that's your problem. Distrayed. The problem is you are approaching let me wait for, okay, you are approaching these moments with basically the same technique. Sometimes you'll speed up here and there and I can notice that. That's when you break off of the metronome. But that's where your problem is. You need to take this with a double click. That's what cluster farming means. So when you see this appear and you see this cluster of targets, it needs to just be a quick double click kill. Same thing for up here. Like you can handle that with a double click. And I think the best tip that I can give towards correcting between these two targets is to actually approach this with smoothness. So you don't want to approach this usually with a flick. And that's what a lot of people kind of misunderstand about this process. They'll try to, when I say double click this, they'll try to flick between these two and hit a quick double click. With this, you want to smoothen out your mouse motion, transfer your attention down into your wrist, and just kind of swiftly get rid of these two targets. And I know you're probably practicing the Bardas method, which is good. Yeah, you're practicing the Bardas method, but you shouldn't approach tiny clusters like that with the Bardas method. I think that's the main thing here. Like, eventually you're just gonna get a lot faster at this. And really, once you learn how to deal with clusters like this, you know, you're not always gonna be dealing with targets that are like this close together. You can start extending your range. You can view this like a cluster. And you can like if you look at Xianlo, or if you look at similar like top static players, they'll extend their cluster range all the way to a target out here and to a target out here. So what can I do to practice this? What you do to practice this is you play like really heavy density target scenarios. So multi-click is good. You could play 6 sphere, the usual. Play 5 sphere. You could play you could also play trust chain. All these kinds of tags you can search for. Go back. Ah, okay. So textbook jagged micro does not mean that you just completely slow down your microcorrections to the point where they're always behind the target. Right? Before, when this bot was floating like that, you know, I would be seeing this from you. Now, you internalize the right idea, but now you're just extremely slow to react. Like all of the movements are delayed. Don't know how to find the balance. Something I'm getting here as well is just, I don't know if this is the 60% render scale doing this or whatever setup you're playing on, but I get the impression that that your perception of the strafes is fully behind the actual strafe. Like, it seems like you register that a strafe has occurred like 100 milliseconds after it actually happened. And that's what, like, bot 3 tells me. Because you're just constantly trailing behind. And here I do see us speeding up a lot. Could be the TV delay. I'm gonna be honest, man, I feel like you're in a position where you are in the most prime area to just improve off of like a basic setup upgrade. There's a scenario that I was experimenting with a while ago. I forget what it's called. You should look up Fugla XY vert. Not vert. Look up Fugla XY. You need to drop yourself to those like very OG scenarios on Kovacs. Play like the super old stuff where the strafes. I'm thinking of a scenario where the strafes are literally just this the entire time. Like, there's so little variation in the strafes. It's just that. That's I'm thinking of Fugla XY. I don't know what the exact scenario name is, but if you look up Fugla, I'm sure you're going to be able to find it. And I want to see how you play that, because so I can learn vertical air, right? It's good. Like, that's when you would, if you wanted to learn vertical air, you would play Fugla XYZ vert, and you would just play air voltaic, easy, invincible 2. You would just play bot 2 invincible. But I'm looking specifically for that Fugla XYZ vert scenario. We'll be back probably next month. I'll probably get another guest on. Last month we had Viscos. Maybe next month I can have like Minigod. I'll probably ask Minigod and we'll do a bunch of static VODs. Because I know I've gotten better at static and I know that Minigod likes to do static VODs. So we'll focus on that. So January, static. And dynamic and anything Valorant related. Because I'll probably have Minigod. But until then, chat, I still like that I brought this back. I think I want to continue doing it, and even if I'm not going to be able to make it one of these months, I hope that someone else over at Voltaic can have a moment to run a stream like this.